Hey guys, hold on. A little cookie. Welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are having a blessed and marvelous, beautiful day. And without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so in my previous videos, been in the story of how God has been taking the Israelites through the wilderness, and that the wilderness season is God's grace because He wants to deliver the Israelites into the promised land. He's trying to get Egypt out of the Israelites, and Egypt represents sinful desires. And I've been seeing that in my life, that God has been taking me through that same process. He has been taking me in the wilderness season, removing, showing me the pride, showing me the selfish ambition, showing me how I was trying to make it about myself, which that's what this world's agenda is for you to do, is to make things about yourself, to make you only worried about you. But God is like, no, mm-mm. If you're following me, I've called you to humble yourself. I've called you to put others before you. And so that's what I've been talking about in my previous videos. And so today we finna get into something juicy because this story right here really helped me see how sovereign God is, how mighty He is, and that nothing goes on and nothing is gonna be allowed unless God permits it to go through. So everything has to pass God. And so that just encouraged me a lot. So let's just get into it. We are going to be in Numbers 22. And for the sake of this video, we're just going to be reading bits and pieces, but I do want y'all to, like, on your own time, read this because God revealed to me so many things, and I believe that He's going to do the same to you. And so in Numbers 22, God shows us how sovereign He truly is, how dangerous greed and compromise are, and even those who look spiritual can be blind to His will. I'm going to give you all a little summary of what's going on. So here we have Balak. He is the king of Moab, and Balak just saw how the Israelites defeated the Amalekites, and the Amalekites represented a strong nation. So when he saw the Israelites defeat the Amalekites, he got scared. He got threatened because he thought that he was going to be next. He knew that the only way they were going to be able to defeat the Amalekites is God being with them. So he saw that the presence of God was with the Israelites. He was scared, got threatened, and he ran to go find a prophet to curse Israel. I know. And not just a prophet, but a pagan prophet. The word pagan means a group of people who worship false idols, false gods. We're going to read Numbers 22, verse 2. Balak, son of Zippor, the Moabite king, had seen everything the Israelites did to the Amorites. And when the people of Moab saw how many Israelites they were terrified. The king of Moab said to the elders of Midian, "This mob will devour everything in sight, like an ox devours grass in the field." So Balak, king of Moab, sent messengers to call Balaam, son of Beor, who was living in his native land of Pethor, near the Euphrates River. His message was, "Look, a vast horde of people has arrived from Egypt. They cover the face of the earth and are threatening me. Please come and curse these people for me, because they are too powerful for me. Then perhaps I will be able to conquer them and drive them from the land. I know that blessings fall on any people you bless, and curses fall on people you curse." We see here that Balak is trying to send a message to that pagan prophet Balaam to try to bribe him to curse the Israelites. The word got to Balaam, the pagan prophet. He said that he could only speak what God tells him. But when it went back to Balak, Balak offered him a bigger reward. He offered him bigger money. And Balaam was like, "Okay, hold on, I'm making do a little some. Numbers 22, verse 7. Balak's messenger, who were elders of Moab and Midian, set out with money to pay Balaam to place a curse upon Israel. They went to Balaam and delivered Balak's message to him. "Stay here overnight," Balaam said. "In the morning I will tell you whatever the Lord directs me to say." So the officials from Moab stayed there with Balaam. So God visits Balaam one night, and God, he already knows what's going on, but he asks Balaam, what's going on? Who are these people? Who are these men visiting you? And Balaam told him that a vast majority of people were trying to invade the earth. And God already knew, like he knew that who he was talking about were the Israelites, were his people. And so God told him, don't go with them. Don't curse my people. He said in verse 12, but God told Balaam, do not go with them. You are not to curse these people, for they have been blessed. Now the word gets back to Balak that Balaam doesn't want to go anymore because God told him not to go and curse his people. And so Balak, he get heated because he's so adamant and so determined to curse the Israelites because he is so intimidated. And so what does he do? He offers him more money. And of course, Balaam, he falls for it. And then God came to Balaam again and told him that he can go with Balak and them, but to do only what God told him to do, and that is to not curse the Israelites. And so after that, God knew that Balaam, the pagan prophet, his motives still weren't right. And so that leads us into the encounter he had on the way to try to curse the Israelites. God sends an angel. This part right here, it tripped me up. It was so fascinating to me that God sent an angel on Balaam's journey. Balaam was riding on a donkey, and the angel was further down the road. And Balaam, he couldn't see the angel. He couldn't see the angel, but the donkey did. And so the donkey was trying to avoid the angel. He was trying to deter from going that path because he knew if he would have kept going, if the donkey would have kept moving towards the angel, Balaam would have died. And so God sent that angel, and he moved through that donkey to show mercy for Balaam. He knew that the path he was leading to, the path that he was going on, was a path led to destruction. As the donkey is trying to veer off the other way, trying to go a different route, trying to avoid the angel because Balaam would have died because that angel represented God's judgment. Balaam got so mad, he was just beating the donkey. He beat him 3 times. And after the third time, God let the donkey speak. I was like, whoa. But God let the donkey speak. I would have been like, what is going on? But it's crazy how Balaam couldn't see the angel. God revealed to me that that represented spiritual blindness. How a lot of us are going through the motions. A lot of us are doing things with selfish motives, and that makes us spiritually dull, not able to see things clearly. When we're in sin, when our hearts are not in the right place, we're not able to see things clearly. But the donkey did. The donkey was trying to help Balaam out, and Balaam had the nerve to beat that poor donkey 3 times. That donkey just had enough. So now the donkey speaks, and this is what the donkey says. First, before we go into what the donkey said, we're going to read Numbers 22:21. So the next morning, Balaam got up, saddled his donkey, and started off with the Moabite officials. But God was angry that Balaam was going, so he sent the angel of the Lord to stand in the road to block his way. As Balaam and 2 servants were riding along, Balaam's donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand. The donkey bolted off the road into a field, but Balaam beat it and turned it back into the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood at a place where the road narrowed between 2 vineyard walls. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it tried to squeeze by and crush Balaam's foot against the wall. So Balaam beat the donkey again. Poor donkey. Then the angel of the Lord moved further down the road and stood in a place too narrow for the donkey to get by at all. This time, when the donkey saw the angel, it lay down under Balaam. In a fit of rage, Balaam beat the animal again with his staff. Then the Lord gave the donkey the ability to speak. What have I done to you that deserves your beating me 3 times? It asked Balaam. You have made me look like a fool, Balaam shouted. If I had a sword with me, I would kill you. Verse 30, but I am the same donkey you have ridden all your life. The donkey answered, have I ever done anything like this before? No, Balaam admitted. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the roadway with a drawn sword in his hand. Balaam bowed his head and fell face down on the ground before him. And we're going to keep reading. So this is Numbers 22, verse 32. Why did you beat your donkey those 3 times? The angel of the Lord demanded. Look, I have come to block your way because you are stubbornly resisting me. 3 times the donkey saw me and shied away. Otherwise, I would certainly have killed you by now and spared the donkey. But then Balaam confessed to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned. I didn't realize you were standing in the road to block my way. I will return home if you are against my doing. But the angel of the Lord told Balaam, go with these men, but say only what I tell you to say. So Balaam went on with Balak's officials. Fast forward to what happened, and Balaam, he couldn't curse. No matter the sacrifices, how many sacrifices Balak and Balaam did, he couldn't curse God's people because no man can curse what God has blessed. And this story just really hit me because the Israelites had no idea this was going on. The Israelites had no idea that somebody was trying to curse them, somebody was trying to destroy them. But God, you see, God was behind the scenes. God was taking care of his people. God did not let that happen. God did not let, just because he was a prophet, showed that he had some type of ranking. He didn't even let a prophet be able to curse his people. In fact, God turns Balaam's curse into a blessing. Balaam was supposed to be a prophet, a seer, but he couldn't see the angel. His donkey saw more than him. A spiritual lesson from this was that religious positions doesn't equal spiritual insight. Balaam was blinded by greed and ambition. He was going through religious motions, but spiritually he was dull. And the symbol of the donkey was God's grace. God would have struck Balaam down in silence. And God uses a donkey, something humble, something unexpected, to help save Balaam. This just shows that how God was speaking through the donkey shows how God can speak through unlikely things to expose hearts. Again, the angel represented God's judgment. If the donkey didn't stop, Balaam would have died. So God doesn't tolerate people who claim to speak for him while loving money and disobeying his will. And Balaam, he wanted money and he wanted God. He wanted the world and wanted God. But you can't have both. You can't love money and love God at the same time. You can't serve both because God is a jealous God. And God is saying that he won't have nobody, he won't compete against nobody or tolerate you putting something above him. But a funny thing about this story is that Balaam, he couldn't curse what God had blessed, but still later on, he tried to corrupt them, tried to corrupt the Israelites by advising compromise. And this shows that if the devil can't curse you, he'll try to seduce you. They saw that they couldn't curse who God has blessed, the Israelites. They tried to get them to compromise what God had for them. They tried to get the Israelites to ruin it for themselves. And we see here that God used a donkey, an animal, to expose the blindness of a prophet. So God, he uses the unexpected and the foolish things to confront those who claim to speak for him but do not walk in truth. In 1 Corinthians 1:27, God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. This message right here in the Bible, it is so encouraging. And as we end this video, I want to leave you guys with this, and I want to encourage you guys to read Numbers. Just read all of Numbers if you can. Here are some little takeaways. God's purpose cannot be stopped by men, demons, or prophets. Even a corrupt voice can't override the covenant of God. God had a covenant with the Israelites. And baby, he don't break no promises. He don't break no covenants. He's a man of his word. And so no evil, no force could stop what God had placed on the Israelites, how God blessed the Israelites. Another takeaway is that false prophets, they still exist. They may use God's name, but their hearts love money, fame, control. So it's so important for you to pray for discernment each and every day. And you'll know them. The Bible says that you will know them by their fruits. And when we hear fruits, not talking about the amount of followers that they have, the amount of money they're bringing in. No, they're fruits. What are the fruits of the Spirit? The fruits of the Spirits are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. You will know them by their fruits. This is just a reminder that even you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on in the spiritual realm. You don't know, but God sees all. The Israelites had no clue what was taking place, but God, He was working behind the scenes. Like I said, He was protecting them all this time. And that's what God is doing with you. He's protecting you, He's covering you. So don't worry. I know it's easy to fall into anxiety, into looking at what's going on in the world, and the times we living in today is scary. It will have you thinking, what's really going on, Lord? The enemy wants you to see what's going on in this world, see what's going on social media, and to pump fear into you, making you think that God doesn't have your back, that God's not looking out for you. But as you can see, God had the Israelites back. He had their back, and God was protecting them from things that they couldn't even see. And so I'm here to tell you and encourage you that God is protecting you from things that you cannot even see. You have to trust, put your faith in Him, and know that He's got you. And so I want to end with this. Who are you in this story? Are you Balaam, walking the path of compromise, using spiritual gifts for selfish gain? Or are you Balak, trying to manipulate outcomes by spiritual force? Or are you the donkey, humble, clear-sighted, willing to be used by God, even when it looks foolish? God is trying to get us like that donkey, humble. Donkey had clear sight. God wants us to be able to be spiritually sober. He wants us to be humble. He wants us to be close to Him. Because when we're close to Him, we're able to see things in the spirit that He needs us to see, to show us things, to guide us to things. No one can curse what God has blessed, and no enemy can override God's purpose for your life. Romans 8:31. If God is for us, who can be against us? If God is for you, who can be against you? Nobody. All right, y'all. I really hope that this encourages you. And please go back, read Numbers 22, read the whole chapter of Numbers, and you're gonna see how if God is for you, no man can stand against you. I love you guys. I pray y'all have a blessed and encouraged day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.